Hello everybody, Gamer19 here, and thought I'd do something a little bit different, and we're done. This collection of videos, which will be made into a playlist. It'll be basically videos on customizing a Gunpla. What is Gunpla, for those who are curious? And it's basically Gundam plastic models, and that you would see all over the stores and such. Majority of the Gunpla that I usually get is often found at Barnes & Noble, but this Gunpla that I got came from a website called USA Gunpla Store. And so the Gunpla I'll be using as a base is the Wing Zero. Let me see if I can. Also known as the Wing Zero Proto version, in which it was like came out before the rest of the Gundams. So that would be the base. What is the base when it comes to Gunpla building? It's pretty much what you're going to start out with as like a starting point, and then you build your way upward using other varieties of materials and pieces. What I'll be using is the additional parts left over from other Gunpla kits, some masking tape for any repaint work I'll be doing, about 25% or 50 chance that I'll be using some evergreen styrene sheets, and pretty much it's like basically like a, how you call it, like little plastic pieces that you can make to customize your Gundams, or you can create your own sceneries and such. I might also will be using Tamiya epoxy putty. What it is, it's like a glue in which, well, not glue, no, I take that back. It's like like clay in which, let me open it up a little bit. There's two pieces used. Oh, they're a little bit different this time. The other ones I bought, they were basically round. Let me see what. So in strips or in a tube, you basically take a piece of the green or the white epoxy putty. Not all of it, because you'll be probably using them later on. And so you're gonna take the two. You're gonna combine them together and knead it up, mixing it up and everything until it becomes the right material. Of course, some gloves will be needed because this stuff is like kind of sticky. And then the most important thing is basically the tools. Now the tools I'll be using for this will be the nippers, some tweezers. I actually bought like another size, of course, because the other ones was a little difficult when it comes to the whole what you call it, the stickers and decals. And lastly, a sand file. Now, of course, this is all worn out from and a little damage due to my last scratch building. One more thing I would like to note is that, of course, some creativity will be needed for this project. In which case, it's something that I kind of lack of. But this Gunpla has been on my mind for the past several weeks, and so I decided to try it out. This will be my very first customizable Gunpla. Let me put this back here, and then also another thing is preparations, which I was playing in the next video. Okay, so basically I'm just gonna have this thing overhead, and for the preparations for this, of course, not only would you need the tools you're gonna gather, but you're gonna have to do a lot of thinking. And so, so what you're gonna need also is some paper and pencil, and just kind of start sketching out your Gunpla as to what you kind of see in your head that you can transfer it over to the paper. Another thing that people often do, like Legos, is basically they just see it from their head and just quickly get to work on building it. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing it, but I can't really show it. If I can't show it to y'all, it's gonna be like a little bit of a surprise tease, of course. And so once you have that covered, of course, the next step will be on what else you're gonna be needing. Um, is there anything else you're gonna need to add to your Gunpla, or are you gonna take away from your Gunpla? And or if you don't have the tool that you would need, so you're probably gonna have to go to a store. So it's basically just like preparations and organizations. Another thing to do is to like look over your Gunpla's original instruction manual, so you can see how each sum of the parts works. Like the Wing Zero, for example, it has some transformation parts. So if you were to want to do a Gunpla that involves it, you will have to look over at how the transformation part works. And then not only that is also like figure out what kind of paint scheme do you want to add to your Gunpla. The biggest thing I recommend that everybody has is patience. Of course, like the last time I didn't fully use patience is what actually had happened to my sand file. Because I didn't wait longer for the epoxy putty to kind of harden up all the way, and then in order for it to sand it down. Another tool I forgot to mention that you can actually use for this is basically a Dremel tool, but it's only if like you have to be very careful with it, especially around plastic models. The techniques I'll be using for the customization is what you call kit bashing and scratch building. Kit bashing is basically you're taking the parts from one the model kit and apply it to the other Gunpla model kit Gunplas. So it's basically like a game of mix and match, like that you would find in some of the children's storybooks. I know I've seen a couple of them growing up. Scratch building is basically what it is. You kind of like started gathering some pieces and just kind of like scratch build. You can make customizable armor or weapons or any extra features to the Gundams or any other model kits. And so now that's pretty much it's explanatory that I think I could think of, as well as for this part 1 of this Gunpla videos. I know it's not much, but on the next video I'll probably show a little bit of a sketch to what I came up with. And until that's everybody, see you soon.